starting with the cost of living crisis. And boy, oh boy, there's some really out-of-touch people who really don't realise how bad it's getting out there, like multi-millionaire property developer CEO Tim Gurner.
We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy.
Yes, unsurprisingly, nobody's seen Tim Gurner out and about since he said that, or else I bet he'd be feeling some pain in his economy. By economy, I mean balls. Yes, and while property developers like Gurner have done well out of the housing and cost of living crisis, many renters and mortgage holders haven't. But don't worry, Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe has the solution.
Live at home with your mum and dad or find yourself a housemate. That's the advice from the Reserve Bank Governor as the nation continues to grapple with the housing crisis.
We need more people on average to live in each dwelling.
Yeah, millennials can't afford rent? Don't worry, just get another flatmate and another flatmate and another flatmate and another flatmate and another 5 flatmates and everyone sleep head to toe on a sofa bed and rosters and boom, Sydney's affordable. Problem solved. Thanks, Philip Lowe. With inflation peaking at 8% thanks to that guy, I have to say there's only one upside, and that's that everything feels like an expensive treat now. Ooh, I think I'll indulge myself and buy a loaf of bread and a carton of milk on the way home from work. Slow down, big spender. Meanwhile, Deputy Liberal leader Susan Lee tried to relate to the rising cost of living for us normal folk with this gem.
I talk to people who are sitting having a quiet beer in a pub on a Sunday afternoon and working out that, you know, they'll get 3 schooners from their jug of beer and then they might have to go home. I mean, this is awful for a lot of Australian families.
Yes, you can tell the Liberals are scrambling when they're like, quick, what do working class people like? Beer. Yeah, jugs of beer. Yeah, that'll do. Susan, just go out there, talk about jugs of beer. Perfect. Yes, nailing it. Good job. Labor wasn't much better at trying to tackle this cost of living emergency either. Here's the Minister for Agriculture, Murray Watt, this month.
Well, with Christmas approaching, I've got a very simple message for the big supermarket chains. Hands off our ham. We know that many Australians look forward to a Christmas ham, and I want to make sure that they're not paying too much at the checkout this Christmas.
Gee, thanks, Murray Watt. Millennials can't afford housing. I guess I'll just have to live in a ham house now. And even if you can afford ham this Christmas, you're going to have nowhere to put it. Thanks to Kmart pulling their anti-Semitic Christmas ham storage bags from stores.
Kmart, owned by Wesfarmers, it was looking for a gimmick to sell more Christmas hams. How did Merry Hamas, get onto the shelves, given what's happening in the Middle East right now? God only knows.
Wow, that's almost as bad as their ice cube trays with a hidden pro-terrorist message. Did you see these? They had printed on them the words, ISIS ready for waging holy jihad. What the hell, Kmart? How did that slip through? To their credit, Anthony Albanese and Labor have tried to tackle the rising cost of living in some small ways, like by making prescriptions last 2 months instead of 1, which, unsurprisingly, caused the head of the Pharmacists Guild to have a big sook.
I had one young woman this morning in her 30s, single mum. She got her dad to put her house up as equity to buy her first pharmacy. She will be bankrupt. They just don't care, you know?
Typical Labor, prioritising chronically ill patients and old age pensioners over the real battlers, pharmacists who inherited businesses from their parents. Come on, Labor, think about the little guy for once. Labor also tried to tackle the rising cost of living by investing in Medicare.
We've made a historic investment in Medicare, tripling the bulk billing incentive to make it easier and cheaper to see a doctor.
Yes, Labor tripled the bulk billing incentive, but not for everyone, just for
under 16s, pensioners and Commonwealth concession card holders for most standard consultations.
Yep, which means these days, everyone else has got to pay. In fact, my local no-frills bulk billing medical centre next door now charges for consults, which means universal healthcare really isn't that universal if workers have to choose between rent, food and getting that weird rash checked. Since when did Labor care about workers anyway? Personally, it kind of makes me wish Albo from 2023 would listen to what Chubby Albo from 2020 had to say about this.
No one should be put in a situation of looking after their family or looking after their health.
To his credit, Albanese has been helping younger workers by forcing more casuals to be put onto full-time contracts, meaning a whole generation can finally find out what a paid sick day is, if they can afford to see the doctor to get a sick note, that is. And this move to more secure work sure pissed off the CEO of the Australian Chamber of Commerce.
Why are they reacting to this false narrative put forward by the unions that casual jobs are in some way inherently insecure.
Yeah, guys, come on. Just because you've been on 0 hours for 10 months now doesn't mean your casual job is inherently more insecure. I mean, technically, you're still employed. Show some gratitude. Yes, the cost of living crisis has gotten so bad this year that it's practically unaffordable for Australians to live anywhere in Australia.
The latest rental affordability index from SGS Economics deeming rent in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide and Perth unaffordable for pensioners, part-time workers and students. Only Adelaide was deemed acceptable for single parents and couples on the minimum wage.
Yep, it's so expensive to live now. I reckon this old guy from southwest Sydney has the solution.
90-year-old Reg has an easier path.
With a bit of luck, I'll die in the meantime and I won't have to worry about it at all.
Yes, dying. The only surefire way to beat the cost of living crisis. Of course, predictably, Peter Dutton and the Liberals had the perfect explanation for why inflation was spiralling out of control this year.
The Prime Minister's obsession with the voice means that he's taken his eye off the ball when it comes to economic policy, and that's why you're paying more for your mortgage.
That's why my mortgage kept going up. The Indigenous Voice to Parliament referendum.